Last week, the White House released its Economic Report of the President for 2023. For the first time ever, the report contained a section about cryptocurrency, and, well, it wasn't good. The report made it clear that the Biden administration will continue cracking down on the crypto industry, and it seems to be intended as a rallying cry for US regulators to double down in their efforts to this end. Today, I'm going to summarize the crypto section of the economic report, explain what it says, and tell you what it could mean for the crypto market. This is a video you cannot afford to miss. The section of the economic report I'll be summarizing today is titled, quote, Digital Assets, Relearning Economic Principles. Now, in case you're wondering why we're not summarizing the whole report, well, it's over 500 pages long. You can find a link to the full report in the description if you insist on reading the whole thing. Good luck, and God bless. Now, the crypto chapter of the report begins with a brief history of the Panic of 1907. This is when the original JP Morgan basically caused a bank run on one of his competitors, which ultimately caused the US banking system to collapse. JP Morgan bailed everyone out, and a few years later, the Federal Reserve was created. Now, obviously, the version of events the authors give is very different. They claim that the Panic of 1907 occurred because the banking system was too decentralized and unregulated. Naturally, the authors then claim that cryptocurrency is the same as the pre-Fed financial system, decentralized and unregulated. The authors acknowledge that decentralized custody and control of money are two of the benefits of cryptocurrency, but then claim that cryptocurrency has not provided any other benefits whatsoever. Rather, it has done damage to consumers, to the financial system, and, of course, to the environment. Now, if you watched our video about the effects of Bitcoin mining on the environment, you'll know that this is BS. Bitcoin mining uses just 0.05% of all global energy and accounts for just 0.08% of all global carbon emissions. This is a very small price to pay for a decentralized payment system and store of value. On that note, the authors claim that cryptocurrencies have, quote, no fundamental value and can only go up in price because of the way their economics are designed. What the authors fail to mention is that most cryptos would go up in price regardless of this, purely because fiat currencies are slowly losing value. Regardless, the authors then question what the role of regulators should be, given the supposed characteristics of cryptocurrency. They also seem to imply that blockchains built by private companies and governments could be beneficial, without mentioning that this setup eliminates decentralization. Now, the second section of the crypto chapter is titled, quote, The Perceived Appeal of Crypto Assets, which reveals how biased this section will be. The authors start by saying that the term cryptocurrency is a crypto industry term meant to give the impression that you're using an alternative payment system. They also say that stablecoin is a crypto industry term meant to give the impression that the coin or token in question will maintain a stable value. For context, almost all these government reports refer to cryptocurrency as crypto assets, which I refuse to do because it's incorrect for the most part. Anyways, what's funny is that the authors take one sentence to talk about NFTs, and all it says is that they aren't relevant to this crypto chapter. This is not surprising given that NFTs have been consistently omitted from most crypto regulations, probably because they're like fine art. In any case, the authors specify that the term crypto asset, that is, cryptocurrency, means every digital currency except digital currencies that are issued by central banks. They then present this Venn diagram, which is supposed to give the impression that central bank digital currencies are like crypto, but better. Now, if you watched our video comparing CBDCs to cryptocurrencies, you'll know this is extremely dishonest. In a CBDC system, the government can control how much you spend, what you can buy, and even how much you can save. In a crypto system, You alone have total control over your assets and your transactions. Newsflash, that is the definition of financial freedom, and it is very, very valuable. Now, the authors admit that crypto became popular during the pandemic and then claim that the crypto bear market was caused by crypto projects and companies going under. In reality, the crypto bear market was largely caused by interest rates going up, which then caused these crypto projects and companies to crash. The authors then go on to applaud the executive order about cryptocurrency signed by Biden last March. They reveal that various US regulators have since published 9 reports about cryptocurrency in accordance with that executive order. Note that we've covered a few of these on the channel. Oddly enough, the authors then suddenly pivot to talking about Bitcoin and acknowledge that it appears to have been created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. They explain how Bitcoin works and that it inspired the creation of tens of thousands of other cryptocurrencies with similar economic models. The authors then list 5 benefits that proponents claim cryptocurrencies have, according to the authors, that is. Now, the first claim is that cryptocurrencies are good investments. The authors highlight the fact that you can make quick returns in crypto compared to other asset classes and potentially hedge against inflation. The second claim is that cryptocurrency is an alternative to the traditional financial system. The authors highlight the fact that cryptocurrency transactions are censorship resistant, meaning they can't be stopped. They also highlight the fact that cryptocurrencies distribute fees among network participants. The third claim is that cryptocurrencies can be better payment systems than the ones we have. The authors highlight the fact that stablecoins could be used for instant 24/7 transactions. Unfortunately, they don't highlight the fact that some cryptocurrencies are faster than centralized payment systems. The fourth claim is that cryptocurrency can lead to more financial inclusion, or as every crypto project founder used to say, bank the unbanked. They highlight the fact that the self-custody of assets means that there's no bank to charge you fees, which is apparently why many Americans refuse to be banked. The fifth claim is that cryptocurrency can improve the financial infrastructure of the United States. The authors highlight the fact that all crypto transactions are publicly viewable and there's no need to trust network participants. They also highlight the potential for smart contracts to replace intermediaries. This ties into the third section of the crypto chapter, which is titled, quote, "The Reality of Crypto Assets," as if it's the US government that determines what's real and what's not. The first reality is that cryptocurrencies are not good investments because they are too volatile due to having no actual value. The authors then scold Fidelity for allowing its clients to invest in BTC through their retirement plans. They claim that BTC isn't an inflation hedge because its value has come down while inflation has gone up. The authors fail to mention that BTC is a hedge against money creation, not supply-side price shocks. The second supposed reality is that cryptocurrency does not perform the functions of money. For those unfamiliar, the 3 functions of money are as a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and a store of value. The authors go on to detail why it is that crypto doesn't meet these criteria and why the US dollar is better. What they fail to mention is that even though cryptocurrency doesn't perform the function of money today, it doesn't mean that it won't tomorrow. Consider that El Salvador made BTC legal tender and that Iran is reportedly using BTC for cross-border trade. They are the first of many, many countries to come. Now, the third reality is that stablecoins can be subject to bank runs. In case you didn't know, most stablecoins in circulation are backed by US bonds, aka government debt, not actual US dollars. If the value of these US bonds goes down too much, stablecoin issuers may not be able to honor all withdrawals. As such, it's possible that a stablecoin could lose its peg if everyone rushes to redeem their stablecoins for USD. The authors claim that there is a precedent for this run risk with money market funds, which are analogous to stablecoins. Money market funds experienced runs in 2008 and in 2020. After trashing Terra's UST, the authors make a good point, and that's that most retail crypto holders in the USA can't redeem their stablecoins for USD. As such, it's possible that retail investors won't be able to sell their stablecoins, but this is unlikely as institutions will buy from them because they can redeem. This is essentially what happened when USDC depegged. You can learn more about what happened there using the link in the description. I digress. Now, the fourth so-called reality is that cryptocurrencies can be harmful to consumers and investors. The authors say this is because crypto companies and projects aren't compliant with existing regulations. They fail to mention that clear crypto regulation in the United States is lacking, and regulators are out for blood. They also take issue with the so-called vertical integration of products and services offered by cryptocurrency exchanges. In plain English, cryptocurrency exchanges play multiple roles all at once. This is illegal in the traditional financial system, and the authors claim that this results in FTX-type scenarios. They fail to mention that FTX co-founder Sam Bankman-Fried was meeting regularly with US regulators and members of the Biden administration. Heck, he was one of the largest donors to the Biden campaign in 2020 and was planning on spending billions more. He was literally their guy. Anyhow, the fifth reality is that distributed ledger technologies like blockchain have had limited economic benefits. The authors invoke an expert who claims that blockchains are neither decentralized nor trustless, and even invoke criticisms by Signal founder Moxie Marlinspike, which is a bit scary. Note that Signal is a privacy-focused messaging app. Sounds like the Biden administration are fans. The authors also conceded that blockchain is appropriate for supply chain tracking and even gave a shout-out to Helium, a crypto project building a peer-to-peer internet. This shout-out wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. They noted Alameda Research's investment in the project and its lack of usage. Funnily enough, the authors go on to talk about the risks of financial innovation and claim that the crypto market is just a big old bubble waiting to burst. They also explain that systemic financial crises are a great way of introducing stricter regulations, which is seriously concerning given the circumstances. That said, the authors believe that a systemic financial crisis hasn't occurred because of crypto. Yet. They say this is because the crypto industry isn't fully integrated with the traditional financial system. The authors call on US politicians to make sure strict regulations are rolled out before this happens. The authors then provide a laundry list of other risks associated with cryptocurrency, including leverage trading, price volatility, illicit financial activity, and ransomware. In other words, essentially the same risks that regular currencies have. There are only a few things worth noting from this section. The authors say that DeFi should be subject to the same regulations as banks. They say that banks should not be allowed to custody cryptocurrencies. They say that all crypto transactions should be connected to your personal identity. They also seem to claim that crypto is causing ransomware attacks. This all relates to the next section of the crypto chapter, which is titled, quote, Investing in the Nation's Digital Financial Infrastructure. The authors reiterate that crypto hasn't delivered on its promises, but the Fed is here to deliver with its FedNow payment system and eventually with its own digital dollar. Now, if you watched our video about the takedown of Signature Bank, you'll know it appears that US regulators have been explicitly targeting crypto companies and projects that were building payments networks which could become competitors to FedNow, which will be fully operational by July. The authors flaunt FedNow's ability to settle payments instantly 24/7 and calculate that it will save Americans $7 billion in banking fees that result from payment delays via other methods. They also reveal that the Fed has been working with banks to make FedNow interoperable with other methods. And not only that, but the authors reveal that FedNow, quote, addresses the issues that some have raised about the need for a CBDC, as per a Fed official. This is consistent with comments from the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, which said fast payment systems like FedNow are analogous to CBDCs. Speaking of which, the final part of the crypto section is about CBDCs. The authors claim that a CBDC system consists of three things: the CBDC itself, the public and private sector entities that are involved in its issuance and transfer, and the laws and regulations which allow for such a CBDC system to operate. As some of you will know, there are two types of CBDCs: wholesale CBDCs, which will be used by select individuals and institutions, and retail CBDCs, which will be used by us plebs. What's crazy is that the authors note there will be overlap between retail and wholesale functionality as per the US Treasury Department. This is crazy because the CBDC reports we've summarized on the channel have long suggested that wholesale CBDCs will be used by the elites and retail CBDCs will be used by everyone else. The comments from the US Treasury Department underscore the likelihood of this outcome. The authors also reveal that the upcoming digital dollar will not be based on any kind of blockchain technology. It will be completely and centrally controlled by the Fed. They go as far as to claim that the digital dollar will be permissionless to use, which is ridiculous and almost certainly false. Following a short discussion of the pros and cons of CBDCs, the authors applaud the Biden administration's CBDC policy objectives, which were published last September. And they conclude the crypto chapter by saying that crypto brings risks, whereas FedNow and CBDCs bring opportunities. They also claim that crypto does not require specific regulation and just needs to come into compliance with agencies like the SEC. And finally, they say, quote, parts of the crypto asset space require coordination by various agencies and deliberation about how to address the risks they pose. In other words, get to it. All of which brings me to the big question, and that's what all of this means for the crypto market. Well, the answer is as clear as day. The current administration is not a fan of cryptocurrency whatsoever and wants to ensure it remains isolated from the traditional financial system, hence Operation Choke Point 2. If you watched our video about Operation Choke Point 2, you'll know that it consists of cutting off the crypto industry's access to the US banking system. You'll know that it's being orchestrated by Democrat politicians and could therefore last until after the next election, assuming, of course, a Republican victory in 2024. Given that the current administration sees the crypto industry as a competitor to payment systems like FedNow and CBDCs, it's safe to assume that the worst of the crypto crackdown will come before FedNow is rolled out in July. So far, it's been crypto companies and crypto banks. All that's left are crypto projects. Stablecoins are likely at the top of the hit list given that they are de facto digital dollars. It's possible that smart contract cryptocurrencies which support these stablecoins will be caught in the crossfire, considering that they are de facto payment systems. Now, I can't say which ones because I don't know. For what it's worth, though, in the conclusion to the crypto chapter, the authors note that, quote, some crypto assets appear to be here to stay. This suggests that the US government is aware that it can't kill every single crypto project, and some will be allowed to live. BTC is the most likely to live given its size and admittedly volatile price. For everything below Bitcoin, things become a bit more uncertain. Whether a crypto project can survive a regulatory crackdown ultimately depends on how decentralized it is. Even though cryptocurrencies like Ethereum are decentralized at the blockchain layer, elements of their infrastructure are centralized. The elephants in the room here are the node hosting services like Infura, which have a history of blocking users from certain regions to comply with regulations, usually sanctions. Thankfully, there are alternatives to services like Infura and the applications which leverage them, at least for Ethereum. Even so, I could see a scenario where regulators apply pressure to these centralized services to achieve compliance from the otherwise decentralized elements of the crypto industry. Now, the silver lining to this would be that it would force cryptocurrencies to decentralize from top to bottom, which is very important. Make no mistake, without top-to-bottom decentralization, there is no financial freedom. That's because if even just some of a cryptocurrency's infrastructure is centralized, it makes it possible for a third party to do things like block transactions. This puts such a cryptocurrency on the same spectrum as a CBDC. The truth is that most cryptocurrencies have more in common with CBDCs than BTC, and that's something which needs to change. Ideally, this would happen without a regulatory crackdown, but maybe that's what's needed to reverse the concerning trend towards centralization in crypto. Otherwise, we could end up with a crypto industry that looks no different from CBDCs. The only difference will be that these systems are controlled by ideological investors instead of ideological politicians. Neither of these two is ideal, and my dream is that crypto will eventually replace them both. It all starts with understanding what decentralization is and making sure that it's achieved in every single crypto project and protocol. You can learn more about that using the link in the description. And that is all for today, folks. So if you enjoyed the video, please do take a second to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. If you thought the info in today's video was important, consider sharing it with someone who you think should see it. And if you want to support the channel while saving money, check out the Coin Bureau deals page to get discounts on hardware wallets, thousands of dollars of trading incentives on the top cryptocurrency exchanges, and stylish crypto merch made by the Coin Bureau. Link will, of course, be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Adios, arrivederci, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, goodbye.